No matter how sane you think you are in your own mind, you are crazy to somebody, or at least a group of other somebodies. So the question becomes, and this could be a very big question for you, the question becomes, which side of the crazy fence do you want to be on? I've decided which side that I'm on, and I love being here because it's so in line with where I want to be and where I'm going with my life. So just that question you could ask yourself could do enormous to give you some insight on maybe what it is that you need to change in what you're doing that maybe isn't getting you to where you want to be with whatever your goals are. If it's to get healthier, to lose weight, to come off your maybe some of your medications, maybe it's to become financially independent or at least get out of debt. Who knows what it is, but things in your life, I know there's things you want to change no matter where you're at. And you could be in a very bad place or a very good place. Everybody wants to change something and hopefully grow. But the crazy the crazy side of the fence, which happens to be both sides, we'll just call it the fence of crazy, which side to be on. Take my story for example. When I signed up and actually put money I didn't have into my this new Beachbody business that I was starting, my own company, people that knew I was doing that and knew my situation, they thought I was crazy. And here I am several years later, I'm independently wealthy. Those people are still broke. I think they're crazy. They think I'm crazy. Which side of the crazy fence do you want to be on? I know people who are on disability who don't want to do something to mess with their disability checks or their food stamps or their welfare or any, the handouts that happen. And then there's other people who get the same kind of government handouts or government assistance, I like to call it for some people. And you know what? They just have a different mindset. They decide, this is all the more reason I want to mess with those freebies that I get from the government because I want to get out and own it. And then eventually those people, you know what? Because they're consistent with lining up their daily actions with their goals, they get out of that mess from the government and they not only break past that boundary, but they just shoot so far up into this stellar stratoscope of excellence that, the government could never ever pay them as much as they're making now or will be in the future. It's awesome. So those people, some of them are independently wealthy now, or at least on their way. And then those other people are still, they're still broke, living paycheck to paycheck, which isn't even really their paycheck. It's the government, which is everybody else who isn't getting help from the government. So that's another example. And look at physical fitness and health, and even psychological well-being, and so on and so forth. There's some people that say they can't see spending money on a home fitness program like, I don't know, Turbo Jam or P90X, or they don't want to get Shakeology. They just think it's crazy to spend that kind of money on those kinds of benefits. And years from now, if they don't change their mindset, they're still unhealthy. They're still dragging around sludge moving through their veins. They're not feeling good. They're launching verbal missiles at people easily because they don't feel good, because that's what people do when they don't feel good. They're not very kind, usually. And then there's those other people, I'm tongue twisted, that have the same kind of health problems or worse, and they see that as all the more reason why they gotta not whine about the price, pay the price, be willing to pay the price to be a free human being, a healthy human being, and to live better and to feel better and more fulfilled. And then they eventually do it. It's amazing. So which side of the crazy fence do you want to be on? Because both sides think the other side is crazy. I know the other side of the fence that I'm not on, I think they're crazy. There's no personal judgment there. I'm friends with many of them, and I think they're just fine human beings. But as far as personal growth goes and development, and knowing they could have all the things they've ever wanted and more if they would just get on the right side of the crazy fence, you know what I'm saying? Independent wealth, health, psychological well-being, all of it, man. What side of the crazy fence do you want to be on? Someone's going to think you crazy. So it might as well be the people that are not in a very good place where you wouldn't want to be. Let them think you're crazy. And then maybe some of them will join you on the same side of the crazy fence that you're on eventually over time. Who knows? It's not a bad thing. So start asking yourself those questions the next time you say that, oh, it isn't worth paying the price for the things that I want. And, if the things you want aren't worth paying the price in your mind, then you don't deserve them. I guess that's something that you need to hear if you haven't heard it before. I'm just leveling with you because you need to hear it. If you're not willing to pay the price for the things that you want, then you don't deserve it. Whether it's health, wealth, the relationships you've always longed for, whatever it is, you don't deserve it if you're not willing to pay the price. And that's just a reflection of the natural setup of the universe, that you and I are guests on. That's not a judgment on my behalf. It's actually more of a logistical point I'm making than anything else. If you're not willing to pay the price, the universe says you don't deserve to have the things that you want. So learn to pay the price. Enjoy paying the price, the process, the struggle that forces you to grow, to become what you want to be in it, to be able to get the things, the knowledge, the wisdom, the whatever it is that you need to be able to get the things that you want. All of that is through stepping out of your comfort zone and a readiness and a willingness to pay the price for the things that you want, and a commitment to fail over and over again until you succeed. That's why some things pay so enormously well, because most people aren't willing to do them. That's just the honest to God truth. So decide, which side of the crazy fence are you going to be on, friends? Make that decision, and if you don't make that decision, nature is going to decide for you, and guess what? There's not going to be too much happening for you. So be more proactive, cooperate with the way that things are naturally set up, like the crazy fence. Cooperate with it. Help out in that push-shove match between the two different crazies, and make the positive one work more in your favor so you get the things that you want and less of the things that you don't want. It'll happen. It will. The universe guarantees it. You've just got to have the guts and the desire to get off the sidelines and onto the playing field and get involved and be consistent about it. That's it. Which side of the crazy side? Which side of the fence of crazy are you going to be on? I invite you to join me on this side, man. It's worth it. The struggle is less painful than regret. And even if you think otherwise, well, you'd be wrong. And in time, you will discover it with your own feelings of regret. So pay the price. Struggle. Go through the struggle. It's less painful than regret. And you can't ever get your time back. This is it. Your one-shot deal at life. Make it a good one. Seriously. I hope that has ignited somebody. Even just one person will make this video blog worth it. Go for it. Pay that price.